The Vanderbilt Commodores travel on the road to face the Texas Longhorns. Now, you might be saying to yourself, preseason or any other season in college football, it's Vanderbilt, it's the Commodores. They're going on the road to play the Texas Longhorns. I mean, this game, what? It's an 11 o'clock game. It's going to be a sleepy start, probably on SEC Network. Not very many people are going to tune in. The Longhorns are going to win by 40. That's how this game would usually go. If you have watched college football for any more than 2 years, you know that the Vanderbilt Commodores don't have a chance in the world to go on the road against the Texas Longhorns and pull off a win. But this is a different Vanderbilt Commodores team. This Vanderbilt Commodores team is ranked in the top 10. This Vanderbilt Commodores team is 7-1. Both of those things haven't happened since 1941. So big shout out to Vanderbilt. They're having their best season ever, you could say. And if they want to squeak into the playoffs, in my opinion, they need to at least go 9-3 to give themselves a chance. I think they need to go 10-2 to make it a sure thing, which means they can only lose one more game. And they've got at Texas, they've got Auburn, and they've got on the road at Tennessee. Those are three huge games. If Vanderbilt can win 2 of 3, they're looking pretty good in terms of their playoff chances, and it starts in Austin. Now, the main storyline heading into this game is, of course, the health of Arch Manning. I have heard most people say that Arch Manning is not going to play in this football game. He's still undergoing concussion protocol, and he should be out for this ball game. So you can say to yourself, if you've watched college football this year, that's not that big of a loss. Arch Manning's not even been very good this year. He's not lived up to his preseason expectations. Arch Manning doesn't really even help this offense. I completely disagree. I think if you're saying that, you haven't really watched Texas football very closely yet this season. I think Arch Manning is a great quarterback. And yes, he's fallen short of preseason expectations, but that's because people had preseason expectations for him to be like the greatest football player of all time. Obviously, he was never going to reach those. And has he been perfect this season? No, I think his footwork isn't exactly where it needs to be. I think he misses some open throws because he loses the cone of the football. And I don't think he's elite by any stretch of the imagination, but his talent is what I've seen this season tells me that he has the potential to be elite. His arm strength is ridiculous. His accuracy and placement on some throws, he just makes NFL level throws every single week that make me say, wow, this guy's got crazy potential. And then he turns around and makes a terrible throw. But the potential's there. His arm talent is crazy too. There's arm strength and there's arm talent. And Arch Manning has both. And I think this is a big loss for Texas because, Arch Manning is a really good football player for this football team. You might ask yourself, who are they replacing Arch Manning with? And I'm blanking on his name right now, so I'm looking it up. I'm sorry, I have a bunch on my notes for this game, but I'm blanking on the exact name. So Matthew Caldwell, that's right. That's his name, Matthew Caldwell. We've seen him play a couple times this season already. He came in and played one play against Florida because Arch's helmet came off. And he played, I think, in the Mississippi State game for a couple plays because of the same reason. But I think he's a winner. I think he's won before at the college football level. Of course, he's not Arch Manning. He doesn't have that talent, but he's going to be able to engineer this offense, I think, to do enough. I think the most important way to look at this football game is through the lens of Vanderbilt's offense versus Texas's defense. In my opinion, that is the main matchup in this game. And Vandy, we've been saying it all season. Vandy either has approached football games in two ways. Either they've ran the ball with their running backs and with Diego Pavia and looked for explosive plays and maintained the possession and controlled the football game through their rushing attack, or they've said, you know what, we think Diego Pavia is a Heisman winner. We're just going to give the ball to him and make him make plays the whole game. Like against Alabama, they handed off to their running back 7 total times, which I thought was ridiculous. And that's why they lost that game. And their last couple games against LSU and Missouri, they've leaned on their run game a whole lot more. And because of that, they've had more stability in their offense. They've turned it over less. And it makes sense that they've won both of those games. Now, they've had amazing plays from some of their playmakers. Trey Richardson's been just locked in the last couple weeks. So is MK Young, speedster running back. He's had some huge touchdown runs, had like the 70-yarder against Missouri. Eli Stowers is making play after play after play, and he's really providing a lot of the culture of this Vanderbilt football team, him and Diego Pavia. So they can make plays. We know that. But this Texas defense, this is a different kahuna. They're just tenacious. They have so much talent pass rushing wise with Colin Simmons. And Vanderbilt saw a lot of that against Missouri. And frankly, they let it impact them a little bit, but their tackles did a pretty good job against Zion Young and Damon Wilson. Colin Simmons is just as good, if not better, than both of those guys. So that'll be something to watch out for. And I think the Texas front seven has to step up big time, just big time, against this Vanderbilt rushing attack if they want to slow them down and if they want to keep Vanderbilt from controlling the game and keep Vanderbilt from doing what they want to do. I think one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, that Vanderbilt was able to beat Missouri last week. I mean, if you look at the stats, they had less first downs, they had less total yards, less passing, less rushing yards, less just kind of overall on every stat. They lost to Missouri. But Vanderbilt made so many big plays in the big moments. They dominated offensively in the red zone and defensively in the red zone. They were great on third down. Their players just, their skill players, like I mentioned, MK Young, Eli Stowers, and Trey Richardson, they just made plays in the big moments to win this football game. Can they do that on the road against Texas? I'm not sure because Texas is really good on third down defensively, and they're really good in the red zone defensively. So something's got to break. Something's got to give. Is it going to be Vanderbilt's offense or is it going to be Texas's defense in the big moments of this football game? I'm really, really excited to see what's going to happen. In my opinion, when I look offensively and I look and I see exactly what Matthew Caldwell is going to have to deal with, mostly the issues that Arch Manning has had, in my opinion, have come from just dirty pocket after dirty pocket. They're not providing him much pass protection. Sarkisian, man, I really think Sarkisian has not been a great play caller this year at all. But what he likes to do is have these deep developing play action pass plays where there's deep crossers. He runs Yankee concepts. He runs waggle. And that kind of stuff doesn't work when your offensive line can't protect. So they've run into some trouble against Mississippi State, against Florida, against Oklahoma, where they have not been able to protect Arch. And he's had trouble. So I look at the Vanderbilt defensive line and I say, well, they're not that scary. So maybe Caldwell will have time to throw the football. And if that's true, Texas's playmakers are finally starting to make some plays. They're not playing out of their mind crazy, but Trey Wisner and CJ Baxter are as healthy as they've ever been. I think Ryan Wingo is really starting to come on. I thought he was going to be elite in the preseason, and I hadn't seen that much from him until last week against Mississippi State. Had a huge, huge breakout game. And I think the offense is starting to come around. I think Texas's defense is way better in the big moments than LSU and Missouri's defense. Personally, I will be cheering the heck out of Vanderbilt in this game. I am going to just be praying and praying, praying that the Commodores pull this off because I love Diego Pavia. I love Eli Stowers. I love this Vanderbilt football team. I think it's just been an awesome run this year and really the past 2 years. And if they win this game, they put themselves in prime time position to make the playoffs. And I just think that's so cool, and I really hope that it happens. But unfortunately, I have to pick Texas in this football game. It is very unfortunate just because of how cool for college football it would be if Vanderbilt was able to pull this off. Hold on a second. Let me put the game up here so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But I just don't – I think Texas's defense wins the big moments. I think they control at least a little bit Vanderbilt's offense and what they're trying to do. And frankly, I just think their offense is too much firepower. Now, if you're a Vanderbilt fan and you're hearing this, I picked against you last week, and it worked out for Vanderbilt. I picked Missouri to win that football game. I did pick Vandy to beat LSU. I was right about that. I was wrong about Missouri. Hopefully, for Vanderbilt, I'm wrong about Texas. Now, if you look at Texas, in my opinion, I don't think if they go 9-3, I don't think they're making the playoffs because that loss to Florida is not a very good loss, and it was by 2 possessions. And I just don't think they have the strength of schedule to make the playoffs with 2 losses. So this legitimately is an elimination game for Texas. And who would have thought at the beginning of the season that we would have Texas playing in an elimination game in Week 10 against Vanderbilt and only be favored by 2.5 points? Guys, if we play this game in Week 1, Texas would be favored by like 20.5. That's how crazy this year has been. That's how much better Vanderbilt's been than people have thought and how much worse Texas has been. And it's crazy. It's crazy. And Texas has looked terrible the last couple of weeks, and yet they're still favored against Vanderbilt. who has looked fantastic the last couple of weeks. So take that what you will. I've got Texas winning this game. I think Will also has Texas winning this game. Let me see. Will has Vanderbilt, actually. So Will is going with the Commodores. I hope Will is right. He went with the Commodores last week and nailed that pick. So hopefully hopefully Will's right. Hopefully Vanderbilt wins. In my opinion, I try and be an unbiased college football fan, but this week I am a Vandy homer for sure. So I've got Texas. Will's got Vanderbilt. I think it's going to be an awesome game, and I just think Texas does a little bit too much. I will say Vandy does lead this series 8-4. So if you're going historically, Vanderbilt should win this game, but unfortunately, we are living in the Big 2025. I've got the Longhorns. Hook 'em against Vanderbilt.